All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be focusing on legs, primarily the posterior chains, so glutes and hamstrings. Of course, we're going to do some calves and some quads, but primarily the main exercise is going to be focused around the glutes and the quad and the hamstrings. I like to divide my leg days. I do leg days twice a week. So one of them is going to be all focused on quads, also do calves. And the second day is going to be mainly focused on the glutes and hamstrings, and of course calves. I like to do calves at least 2 to 3 times a week, mainly because the more I work them out, the better they're going to grow. They're very stubborn. So for me, I have to work them out a lot to make sure that they grow. Ultimately, I mean, unless you have good genetics, quads are very, very difficult to train and to grow. Especially because, I mean, it's one part of the muscle that's constantly working. You're constantly walking, even if you're standing by and your leg is shaking, you're jumping on your foot's jumping nonstop. That's just calf activation. So I like to work them out a lot and completely destroy them. Ultimately, what happens is I'm always sore. My calves are always sore. So it's one of the downsides, but I got to force them to grow, have smaller calves. Anyway, so again, today we're going to be focusing on the posterior chains and glutes and hamstrings. The first exercise that we're going to do with calves, we're going to do about 100 reps. So we're going to be alternating from one side to the other. So if you start with the right foot, we're going to do as many as we can. And whatever number that is, we're going to match that with the left foot. And we're just going to be jumping back and forth. Make sure that number of reps are matching. You don't want to do 20 with the right leg and then 50 with the left. You want to make sure that you maintain a little balance there to make sure we get a good aesthetic look on those calves. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to do some calves. Then we're going to do some step ups on the bench to really focus on our hamstrings and our glutes. Then we're going to do some RDLs. We're going to do some hip thrusts. And then our final exercise is going to be some squats, just to work out pretty much everything else that's there, primarily the quads. So yeah, let's go real quick to the bench and do some calves and start the workout. See you in a second. All right, so the first exercise, like I mentioned, we're going to do 100 reps of calves. So what I like to do is I like to lift my feet off the ground. So I like to put my feet on the bench. So if you see the little bottom part, I have a little step there that I put my feet on, and then I go do my reps there. If you don't have that, maybe you have like a 2x4 that you can use. Maybe you have some steps in your garage or something like that where you can put your feet on. Or if worst case scenario, get some plates, put a plate on the floor and get on the plate and do that. And yeah, let's try to get 100 reps. I'm not gonna make you guys watch all of this, so I'll just skip forward. But let's start. So we finished with calves. They're blown up, they're hurting. So exercise number 2, we're gonna be doing step ups. So what we're gonna do is, again, just get a little bench if you have, or anywhere you can put your foot up and just bring them up. What you want is to work yourself up. You don't wanna get them too high. If it's the first time you do them, you wanna make sure you have a good height. You don't wanna get it too high, it's gonna be very challenging. But we're gonna be doing this to failure. The good thing, since we're working, it's a single leg exercise. We can switch back and forth. That's gonna save us some time there. The goal here, we're gonna go to failure, but again, try to make sure we slowly eccentric, a light tap on the floor with the foot that's not on the bench, your opposite foot from the workout, and then you're gonna do a light tap and come back up. Again, we're gonna control the eccentric, a light tap on the floor, and come back up. Make sure you squeeze your hamstrings. Try to keep your core up tight and your torso, your core upright. The goal here is to make sure that we're going to be focusing on your hamstrings and your glutes. And of course, you can use the back of the bench to kind of balance yourself up a little bit here or there. Again, don't put your weight on the bench with your arm. That's just mainly for balance. Oh yeah. Then once we're done, switch sides and go again. I'm actually going to do it this way so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, with 3 sets of those, non-stop, if you can, for your knees. That was rough. Round 3, come on. Whew. Exercise number 3, we're doing RDLs with a barbell. If you don't have a barbell, use dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, that's fine. Use body weight. But what I would recommend if you're doing body weights is just really slow, eccentric, and get that deep stretch in your hamstrings. And hold that for a second and come back up. If you're doing a lot of weight, it's a little bit different. But shooting for 12 to 15 on these ones, what I want you to do is you're gonna hinge on your hips. Imagine you're gonna put your ass against the wall, the upper part of the wall, to get a deep stretch on the hamstrings. So push those back. Make sure you distribute the weight mainly on the middle and the ball of your foot and your heel. Your legs, you want to have them slightly bent, not completely bent or completely locked in. You want to have them slightly in, and you want to push that ass back like you're gonna get paid for it, if you know what I mean. Then want to slow the eccentric and get that deep stretch. Your chest and your face, you're gonna be pointing up. So bring your chest out, your head's looking up, and you get a deep stretch on your hamstrings. What I recommend with the weight is that when you have it down, move it slightly forward to get a deeper stretch on the hamstrings there. But rule number 1, the most important thing about this exercise is protect your lower back at all costs. You shouldn't be feeling any tension or pressure on your lower back at all. It should be all on your hamstrings. If you're feeling some tension on your lower back, that means you're doing the exercise wrong. So be careful and start without weights. So again, I'm gonna slow down, chest up and out, and put that ass back. Get that deep stretch in your hamstrings. Get as long as you can without actually having your back getting into the exercise, the movement. And come back up and squeeze when you come back up. Squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings on the way up. All right, let's get some weight and do our first set. Set number 1, also grab the wedges, put them on the floor to lift my toes. That way it gives me a little more extension on the hamstrings. So try it. You can grab a little plate and throw it in the floor. You don't have to. It just gives a little bit of a extra leverage there. And yeah, let's go. Chest out. Round number 2, come on. Make sure you lift the weight properly, not with your back, with your legs. Anyways, let's go. Whew. That was rough. Round 3, last one, come on. All right, exercise number 4, do hip thrusts. Nothing too crazy. We'll make sure we focus on time under tension. Try to slow the negative, hold the stretch at the bottom, and come back up. So what we want is make sure that our legs are at a 90-degree angle when we're completely up against. You don't want to go too high, but you want to make sure that your knees are at a 90-degree angle. When you bring it down, your core stays straight. You want to tuck your chin in to get a little more contraction on the glutes and squeeze back in. Make sure you squeeze on the top and control the negative. You don't have to go all the way down, but just enough to get the full stretch on the glutes. Then come back up. Slow, hold. All right. Set number 1, come on. Set number 2. Fuck. Come on. Do some partial mile reps at the end. Third and last set, come on. Let's make it count. We got this. Whoa. That sucked. All right, final exercise, 5th exercise. It's gonna be an easy one. What we're gonna do is gonna be squats and do wide stand or sumo squats with the bar. We wanna make sure we completely put our feet as wide as we can to really engage our glutes and hamstrings. Make sure we keep our back completely straight. And what we want for this one is just gonna do 1 set till failure. So hopefully you can get to like 30 plus reps. And yeah, let's just do this. It's gonna suck. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's get this one going and call it a day. Come on. Again, I'm not doing a lot of weights because I'm gonna go to failure. Fuck. That was horrible. That was horrible. But we got this. We made it. Whew. So what I did at the end is once I did like 30, almost 30, I did some rest pause. So I rest, I mean, or rest pause, whatever you're gonna call it. So I paused, I rested for a couple of seconds, went again, rest, went again, rest, went again. So I was completely almost at failure that I couldn't get up. My legs are shaking right now, which is a good sign, and that's why I'm grabbing myself by the pull-up bar. But great fucking job. This was a tough one. I'm exhausted. I hope you guys had a great workout. I hope you're walking like baby Bambi right now, like I am. Doing a little baby deer walk. So again, hope you liked the video. Hope you had a good workout. Hope you had a great rest of your day. Keep doing tough things. They're just gonna make you better, gonna make you happier. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time spent here with me and working out with me. And yeah, see you guys next time. Take care.